Greetings, New Zealand naturopath Eric Backer, author of Candida Crusher, formulator of the CanXida range of products. Thanks for checking out my video again. I just did a video called The Last Resort Patient. This one's going to be called the Apple Picker. Now, you'll find out why I'm calling it the Apple Picker in a minute, but I live in a beautiful part of New Zealand and we've got lots of apple trees growing around us. I've got about 5 apple trees growing in the yard and I love apples. I think they're a fantastic food for your health. So when you start really improving your digestive health, it's very important to eat one good quality piece of fruit per day, and I think apples are fantastic. If you can't eat apple, try a pear. The reason why I like this particular kind of food is because it provides very valuable fiber to help build beneficial bacteria. It provides soluble fiber and insoluble fiber, so it helps to increase bowel function, improves digestive function, stimulates appetite. It's a fantastic food to really eat. So apples are a great food. Green apples are better for Candida though. They contain more malic acid and less sugar or sucrose than the red varieties. So why would I call this video the Apple Picker? I'll read a bit more in my book to enlighten you. I don't care if I upset a few people. I've lost a few patients over the years, but I've had very good results with some of the very hopeless cases, which were long ago discarded by the medical profession, who go on to easier pickings, or what one doctor friend called the low-hanging fruit. So when you've got a nice big apple tree and it's full of apples, what are the first apples you're going to pick? Are you going to climb to the top of the tree and get the apples up the top, or are you going to get the low-hanging fruit down the bottom? Well, most people do the same stuff. They walk up to a tree and they just pull an apple off that's closest to them. And that's what a lot of doctors try and do with patients, whether they're chiropractors or naturopaths or medical doctors. They go for the low-hanging fruit. They go for the easy cases because they're within reach. They can easily pick them, they can do things with them. The ones further up the tree are more of a challenge, but the ones right up the tree, they are the difficult apples to get, and they're also the difficult patients to treat. You can't achieve quality in a brief 10-minute consultation, and the more challenging patients require much more time, valuable time, much more than a medical professional has got. The apples at the very top of an apple tree are the last resort patients. They're much more difficult to pick and win over than apples at the bottom, and they're probably the best apples once you finally do reach them. There is a risk of falling if you do try and reach out to them, but you get to be a skilled apple picker after a while, and by falling I mean offending people with more direct talk or potential strong aggravations that they may receive after treatment. So these are the last resort patients who end up in my clinic. And I've become a person who's getting more and more skilled at knowing where to place the ladder and how to reach out to the apple. But there's always a potential that I could hurt myself real bad. And I've hurt myself bad on social media in the past. You know, on Twitter and on Facebook, I've tried to reach out to people and I've been just chopped down. So I'm quite cautious now with social media. YouTube is my preferred way to reach out to people. I've been known to be straight up with patients. With addictive behaviours particularly, there is no point beating around the bush. Do you want to get well? I ask a patient. Yes, I do, is the reply. Are you willing to do whatever it takes? Yes, I am. Do you enjoy feeling this terrible? Do you enjoy headaches, bowel problems, vaginal thrush, jock itch, fatigue, etc.? No, I've had enough. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I spent $10,000 and I'm sick and tired of being sick. Help me, Eric, what can I do? I've often thought about calling my clinic the last resort. That's because what a lot of patients say to naturopaths like me, you're my last resort, I've been everywhere. Many naturopaths have heard these same very words, and the longer they practice and more experience they gain, the more chronic and complex cases they will see. So I've also developed my Candida Crusher program for naturopaths. Actually, and many naturopaths now in America and in different countries are utilizing some of my protocols to help these apples at the top of the tree. Apples at the bottom of the tree are easy to work with. Supplement companies will teach people how to pick apples down the bottom, but the ones up the top are much more complex. So what else did I write here? Interesting here, you'll like this. Are you looking at checking into the last resort hotel yourself with a chronic health problem? If you're a baby boomer like me, you may be familiar with a song from the American band called the Eagles called Hotel California. I like the Eagles. Remember the song line from Hotel California, you can check out any time you like, but you can never leave. So then I go on to write, some patients I've seen love being in the last resort hotel. It almost suits a purpose for staying unwell, a kind of self-sabotage. Like the patient I saw who was abused as a young girl and now feels comfortably fat at 220 pounds to avoid any kind of intimate relationship. Or the 48-year-old at home working mother who's off to the refrigerator for ice cream a few times per day and has many peanut butter sandwiches for lunch. I can't be bothered. I've been with my husband for 12 years and we've drifted apart. He does his thing and I do mine. Yet another person who feels she's permanently checked into the last resort hotel. The crazy thing is you can check out any time you like and you can always leave. It is your call. If you come to my clinic, you'll get a wake-up call, but you'll get a nice wake-up call. Unless you eat candy from the minibar, then you'll get growled at. Right? So the Candida Crusher program contains many tricks and tips on basically how you can help yourself. And you don't have to stay in a hotel that you feel terrible with and you can never feel you can check out of. You've got the key in your hand, that's the problem. Well, it's a solution, not the problem. And you can open up the door and check out anytime you want. But many people sabotage themselves continually. You know, they punish themselves, they hurt themselves. They eat stuff, they feel bad after it. They say bad things, they feel bad after it. They've almost got like a poor self-image. They don't like themselves enough to really want to improve their healing. So those are sort of things I want you to think about with this video, okay? It is easy to leave the last resort. And think about the apple tree, about the apple up the top of the tree and the apple down the bottom of the tree, okay? If you are a patient, try and be an easy patient when you see a practitioner. Don't be a whinging, complaining patient who says to the doctor, I'm sick and tired of seeing everybody. Nobody can cure me. I want somebody to cure me. I want a pill that will cure me. I want to keep drinking Diet Coke and I want to be cured. I want to keep eating a chocolate bar and I want to be cured. I want to keep living in an abusive relationship and I want to be cured. I want to be very unhappy with my job and get crappy wage and devalue myself, but I want to be cured. Think about those kind of things. If you're kind to yourself, if you really want to get cured on a deeper level, you need to make some fundamental changes. And that will make a big difference to your life. Thanks for tuning in.